Hello, welcome to the third episode of Doc Diversity. Today I will be interviewing Dr. Subrami. And then, if you want to say something.
Hi, my name is Mrinalini Venkata Happy to be here.
Okay. She is a pulmonologist and a critical care doctor. And today she'll be sharing a little bit about her path. Okay, so we're going to start off with the ball.
Okay.
Left thumb.
All right. My childhood dream. I always wanted to be a doctor. So I think I achieved my childhood dream.
Okay. Pick a finger.
Right thumb.
If I had $1 million, I think if I had $1 million, I would just do kind of what I want to do. But like having a nice house, nice car, family, being able to support my family and being able to support myself, and then just being able to invest in myself and being able to do what I need to do to get to the place that I want to be, which is being a doctor. Okay. Left pinky.
I'm happiest when. I'm happiest when at work. I'm happiest when my patients are doing well and are successful after lung transplant. At home, I'm happiest when I'm with my husband.
Okay. Which finger?
Let's go the same that you told me, left pinky.
A day I'd live over. Most recently, the day that I would live over is the day that we had my showcase for Distinguished Young Women. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it proved to me that I am capable of public speaking and being in situations that I otherwise wouldn't be in, and I could thrive and excel in those. I felt pretty good about myself. That's the day that I would live over right now. It just felt really good to know that I can push forward and do things that are uncomfortable and being able to do good in them. And it was just a good experience being around other young women that have goals and things that they want to do, and just getting to see their beauty and their talent in a space that's fostering that. I thought that was great. So I would redo that. Okay, we're going to get into some questions now. Can you just give us a brief overview of your path so far?
Yeah. I come from a household of no doctors. I'm from Chennai, India. I did my med school in India. I almost always wanted to be a doctor. Looking back, it's because I just understood biology. And so it was a natural path for me. And I went into med school, understood how I didn't know anything about medicine when I started, and it is nothing like what I imagined it to be, and fell more in love with it. I moved to the United States 10 years ago at this point to do more advanced training in medicine, including research. And I landed at Cleveland Clinic. I did my residency in internal medicine there. I loved critical care. I really enjoyed taking care of patients who are critically ill, supporting their family members through it. And it's during the residency that I got introduced to lung transplant. And it's just, you just need to see two patients who had very successful lung transplant and how they can get their life back and enjoy life. And I was hooked, and I went on to do pulmonary critical care training. I went on to do advanced training in lung transplant, and now I'm a transplant pulmonologist. So I basically take care of patients who have severe lung disease, who get an organ transplant, and I take care of them after that.
And you oversee the clinic at Northwestern, right?
Yes. So I am a transplant pulmonologist at both downtown, and I'm the medical director at Payless Lung Transplant Clinic. So I see patients at Payless, which is where I was today.
Okay. Can you expand a little more on your position as the medical director?
Yes. So lung transplant traditionally was only at like big university centers. So access to these big university centers was limited. So in the recent years, as the community, what we are trying to do is improve access for patients to all solid organ transplants, including lung transplants. So we decided as a team that we can we have a Northwestern facility at Payless, so we can start offering the services of lung transplant at Payless. So as a medical director, what I do is I oversee the clinical operations. So we built a program at Payless so patients can follow up at Payless, which is much, much closer to them compared to coming downtown for everything. They can get all the testing there. We do pre-lung transplant evaluation. So patients who need a lung transplant, we see those patients at Payless. They get most of their testing there. So that really has improved access for patients who don't have transportation to come to downtown, or where their loved ones cannot take a full day off for a follow-up. Now they can just come there for like 2 hours in the morning and then go back to their daily life. So this has been a very fulfilling journey. We started the lung transplant clinic at Payless January of this year. And so far, almost all my patients who live here, they never want to go back to downtown, and they only want to see us here. Yeah.
That's great. Okay. What made you decide that you wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah, I kind of ask my question that often. I think when I was in high school, that's when you try to decide what you want to do in life, and you go on the field trips. I don't know if you remember those. But one of my field trips was to a hospital, and I remember vividly they had this a video demonstration of cardiac catheterization. They showed the heart, the aorta, the blood vessels, and how to access it. And for me, intuitively, I understood it. It was fascinating for me that you could help people in like toughest of conditions, and really give a benefit. Like you were serving the people in a way, and you're doing that when you're also understanding science, and you get to do science that is directly impacting patients' lives. I think that's the best thing to do. It's like when you have science that is fascinating, but at the same time it directly impacts somebody's life, and you give them a good quality of life and treat something. That's why I think, looking back, I think that's why I wanted to become a doctor. But at that time, it was just like, I understood that. So maybe this is what I want to do.
Yeah. That's beautiful, though, that you just want to help people and give back, and also tie in an interest of your own into it. I think that's great. What skills and traits make you a good doctor?
I'm very empathetic. And that stems from my own experiences as being a patient, my family members being a patient, being a caregiver for somebody who is critically ill. I think empathy is something. So I connect with my patients, listen to them. I listen to them. That's probably the most pertinent quality, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you build rapport with them? Is that through just listening, or is there other things that you tie into that?
Listening is the first step, and then is advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly advocate for my patients. And I try to meet them in a middle ground. Like, in this day and age, it's hard to tie in daily work with all the appointments. So I'm very flexible. If somebody needs to be seen on a particular day, whether I have clinic or not, I try to get them in. do telemedicine, use technology so that you're also not burdening patient and caregivers with a lot of back and forth to the hospital appointments.
Yeah.
And the patients know when you go an extra mile for them, they know, and I think that's how you build a good relationship.
Thank you. I noticed when I looked at your online profile, you have a lot of good reviews and them saying that you're very patient and you take the time to communicate or break things down in a way that's not medically complicated for them to understand. Yeah. I thought that was interesting to see because I've looked at other reviews on different doctors and a lot of the complaints are they didn't listen or they dismissed you. And that was the opposite for you. And them saying that they really felt understood and cared for.
Thank you. I also come from a family of no doctors. I'm the only doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically talk to my patients the same way I would explain something to my family member who are not in medicine. So,
okay. Thank you. What lessons have you learned along the way that have stuck with you?
I have been a caregiver for my very close family member who was critically ill. So I've learned that patience as a doctor to actually understand what the family member is going through and giving that time to the family to cope up with whatever the situation is. That needs time and space. And sometimes in modern medicine, we try to do things in a little bit hurried fashion, but sometimes it's important to take a step back and give the family the space to make some decisions and listen to them. I think that's the biggest lesson. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. I think it shows how empathetic you are towards your patients for that to be the lesson that stuck out to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a day that made you reconsider whether being a doctor was for you?
Sometimes when you have a patient you have taken care of a long time, or you have some patient all of a sudden there's an unexpected outcome that you did not expect. There are tough days like that where you're like, this is a lot emotionally, but it's never made me rethink going into medicine. It really is the best of one of the best fields available, because yeah, I've never thought of like doing anything else other than medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you choose pulmonology specifically in critical care? I know you mentioned a family member.
Yeah. That is more recent, but before that, critical care is basically patients are very sick. You need to do things a little bit in a timely manner. So there's a lot of like advanced medicine involved in critical care. You're making a lot of decisions which are time sensitive. So I think you get to make a lot of medical decisions. You also get to do a lot of procedures. So critical care is it's a good field where there is a lot of thinking, diagnostics, and also a lot of procedures compared to surgery where there's a lot of procedures, which is much more procedure heavy than diagnostics. I think critical care is a good balance of both.
Okay.
That's why I went into pulmonary critical care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any reason specifically with the pulmonology though?
I think pulmonology is such a crucial part of critical care in general. And I think lungs as a specific organ in the body is as fascinating as the heart. It's a sophisticated organ which is so crucial for day-to-day life. There is so many. I think one difference in pulmonology compared to other fields is that we still have a lot of advancements to make in pulmonology. There's a lot of diseases that we don't have a cure for or we cannot reverse. So it's also a field where a lot of research can be done, and you could have medical advancements, which is just exciting. As a young doctor, if you treat a patient for something that you didn't have a cure and now you have a cure. The perfect example is cystic fibrosis, which did not have a therapy for such a long time. And now there are patients who have medicines that can reverse their disease, and they don't need to be on oxygen all the time, and they can live longer and have a good quality of life. I think pulmonology is unique like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you balance your personal life with your work life?
Balancing personal life with the work life is, there are times where personal life takes an upper hand than work life, and there are times when the work life takes an upper hand than personal life. So it's never like a perfect 50-50 balance. The most important thing is to have a supportive family who can understand when you have a rough day, or when you have a very a long stretch of service time. We have to go on the weekends. But your family realizes what you do for a living. They understand the importance of the work. And so as long as you have a supportive family, like my brother, my partner, my mom, they were all so supportive and encouraging that I never felt that I never felt the pressure for having a work-life balance, but I just did it because when you know your family is so supportive, you ultimately give them the time. I mean, you instinctively feel the need to give them the time, and it comes naturally, so you don't have to like force it.
Yeah. Where do you hope to take your career in the future?
So in organ transplants in general, there is a need for more advancements in how we treat patients and how we improve access so that all patients can have an equal access to lung transplant. My future as a transplant pulmonologist is to bridging the gap where you increase the access for transplantation, specifically for lungs.
Okay. Thank you. And then the last question is, what advice would you give to me as someone that's interested in medicine?
It's totally worth it. It's worth the time. It's worth the effort. It is gratifying. I'm not going to say it's all days are going to be easy. There are days where we are so tired, and you have an unexpected outcome. It's emotionally a big blow. But it's a very gratifying field when you see patients who are doing well. And I just saw 3 patients today who said how they got a second chance at life and they're able to do everything. That makes your day. It's totally worth it.
Okay. I'm giving you this plant because you have invested in me by being here today and taking the time to interview with me, even though you're very busy.
Oh,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. We love plants. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the 3rd episode of Doc Diversity. Over and out.